Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a man is rushed to the hospital after a vehicle hit him on a local street. Plus, bird flu kills more than half the big cats at a Washington state sanctuary, devastating conservation efforts. And multiple tornadoes reported today in Wharton County. A look at whether they left behind damage in the area.
We'll be tracking those storms as they came across the area, but tonight all of that stuff is gone. You can see it's already out in Louisiana. Things are settling down. We're going to be on the humid side tomorrow morning. Therefore, we're probably going to be looking at some fog and warmer weather as we head on into the end of the year. We'll talk about that coming up.
And last Thursday, he became a state champ. And this Thursday, he's our athlete of the week. We'll hear from Bryce Ullman and more in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Shawna Currie. Don Brubaker is off tonight. A man is taken to the hospital after being hit by a vehicle. The auto pedestrian crash happened a little after 6 p.m. tonight on Laurent Street at Colorado Street. The road was shut down for a short time while emergency crews worked the scene. The man was conscious and breathing when taken to the hospital. The extent of his injuries is not known. At least 3 tornadoes spotted in Wharton County near El Campo this afternoon. The sheriff's office confirmed one was spotted on FM 960 and FM 961, another near Highway 59 and the El Campo truck stop. They advised residents and drivers to seek shelter immediately when those were coming through. A tornado warning had been issued just after 2 for Wharton County and has since expired. So far, there are no reports of any major structural damage or injuries. This week's rain has been enough to lift the burn ban for Victoria County. According to the Victoria County Fire Marshal's office, it was lifted at 11 o'clock this morning due to the rain we've received. A burn ban is usually put in place when the index to measure moisture in the ground gets above 575. Victoria County is now at 489. Anyone planning a controlled burn, though, is asked to contact the Fire Marshal's office or non-emergency dispatch line beforehand. And since the burn ban is no longer in effect, the aerial fireworks ban is also discontinued for the upcoming New Year holiday. Well, the City of Victoria's Parks and Recreation Department is ending the year and the city's bicentennial year with a bang. The New Year's Eve blast-off will be held on December 31st at the Riverside Park Special Events area. Pre-show activities start at 6 p.m. There will be kids' inflatables, food trucks, and live music. The fireworks show begins at 9 p.m. Parks and Recreation is coordinating to ensure the display will be visible throughout the park. And time to check in now on our weather with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. And Mac, some really yucky storms that came through earlier today that had everybody on their toes. So more rain coming overnight, or are we in the clear?
Well, you know, yes, on the storms, the yucky storms, but the rain, the half-inch of rain that we had in Victoria County was great. It's just that once it traveled up I-59, it got really nasty out there. You can see, once again, we're going to start this loop again. You can see that line. That's the showers this morning. Then it went up and it got real serious right about there. But as of this hour, you can see how most of that is now pushed off into Louisiana. Tomorrow on the cloudy, humid, and warmer side, we'll be talking about that in just a moment.
Strong storms caused a roof to partially collapse at a Houston area auto store over the Christmas holiday. This is what it looked like at an auto zone in the Cypress area northwest of downtown Houston. According to the manager, the collapse happened on Christmas morning as storms moved through. Luckily, no one was in the building at the time of the collapse. A tornado watch is currently in effect for areas that are being impacted by that storm now. Flooding rains made for slow going across Dallas and Fort Worth before midday. Some of the largest counties in North Texas were under either flash flood or severe thunderstorm warnings through the noon hour, with heavy rain, small hail, and gusty winds slowing roads and air travel. DFW Airport and Love Field in Dallas both had ground stops in effect for a period of time due to lightning and hail as their ramp workers had to remain inside. Again, there is a tornado watch for parts of East Texas into Louisiana now as the storm system pushes eastward out of Texas. 2 donkeys and a Belgian horse are getting a second chance at life thanks to a nonprofit in Amarillo. Volunteers with the Big Hoof Foundation recently drove to Bowie, Texas to pick up a mother donkey and her newborn. The mother needed medical attention. While the volunteers were there, they pulled a Belgian horse off a truck headed for Mexico, where it was going to be slaughtered. The horse was also extremely underweight. The team took the animals to their sanctuary, where they are receiving the care they need. Concerns growing over the spread of bird flu after an outbreak killed 20 big cats at a sanctuary. Staff at the nonprofit are now doing everything they can to protect the surviving cats and take steps to reopen the center. Jackie Kent reports.
The Wild Fleet Advocacy Center announced more than half of its big cats as of this month have been infected with bird flu.
It's been one big nightmare, really. I mean, never thought something like this would happen to us. Maybe only in a facility that had cats near each other, and ours are spread out over 5 acres.
The tragedy has deeply affected the sanctuary workers who are grieving the loss of 20 animals that were part of worldwide wildcat conservation efforts. They include a tiger, cougars, lynxes, bobcats, and other big cats.
Tabby, she was my favorite tiger. The day before Thanksgiving, we had 37 cats. Today we have 17 cats, 4 recovering.
The viral infection carried by wild birds can spread through bird-to-bird contact and can impact other mammals that eat birds or bird droppings. We're told cats are very vulnerable and symptoms happen fast, often killing the animals within days from conditions like pneumonia.
Feeling devastated, kind of in shock, and just taking really good care of those ones who are recovering.
Director Mark Matthews says in his 20 years running the sanctuary, they've never experienced anything like this. Now the nonprofit is taking extensive measures, like washing boots and suiting up in PPE before entering the sanctuary as they prepare to disinfect everything.
The facility will stay under quarantine to help protect the remaining animals. It's expected to stay closed to the public for the foreseeable future. Peyote, a cactus with the hallucinogen mescaline, grows in South Texas and North Mexico and is sacred to many North American communities. It's used in ceremonies and as medicine for healing from the trauma of colonization. While a 1994 law protects its religious use by Native Americans, peyote faces threats like overharvesting, poaching, and the rise of psychedelic use. Conservation efforts like the Indigenous Peyote Conservation Initiative aim to protect the plant, educate others, and ensure tribal access. Native leaders continue to push for stronger laws to safeguard peyote and preserve its ceremonial role. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is suing the National Collegiate Athletic Association, saying the organization misled college sports fans by allowing transgender women to participate in events marked as women's competitions. Paxton wants the court to limit the participation of trans athletes in NCAA competitions taking place in Texas or involving Texas teams, or to stop the organization from labeling events as women's sports if they include transgender women. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. The city of Victoria is picking up extra garbage on regular collection days through December 31st. Residents who have extra garbage from the holidays that does not fit into the bin may place the excess garbage in standard trash cans or in plastic trash bags. After this courtesy pickup time, all trash must again be placed inside the city-provided trash bins, and the lid must be able to close. Live Christmas trees will be collected on regularly designated yard waste collection days beginning on Thursday, January 2nd. Stands, lights, ornaments, and other artificial materials must be removed. Artificial and flocked trees will not be accepted as yard waste. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, a New York City subway tragedy sparks outrage and calls for change. Plus, how a new weight loss pill is showing promise in early studies. Welcome back. Tonight marks the start of Hanukkah, the Jewish festival of lights, through the next 8 nights. In honor, the world's largest electronic menorah lit up the Paramount Miami World Center, a 60-story skyscraper in downtown Miami. The massive structure features a golden menorah, a spinning digital dreidel, and shimmering snowflakes, all part of a dazzling light display. The lighting system, which took 3 years and $3 million to install, uses 13,400 lights and can display 16 million colors. The developer calls it a symbol of light triumphing over darkness. The display runs nightly through January 2nd, lighting up the Miami skyline and celebrating the Festival of Lights. New Yorkers gather to remember an unidentified woman killed earlier this week after being set on fire on a New York subway train. While the governor recently pledged extra National Guard troops for safety, attendees say it's not enough to fix the system's ongoing failures. Sherelle Hubbard has the latest details on the story.
Lord God, we declare that there will be justice, Lord God, for this family, God.
A vigil was held Thursday for the victim of a horrific attack. A woman riding a New York City subway was killed after being set on fire by another passenger Sunday morning. The crime has some commuters fearing for their safety and criticizing local and state government.
Thank God they caught the person that did this. But it's not just the person's fault, it's the system's fault.
We're constantly being attacked, assaulted, thrown in front of trains, accosted by the mentally ill.
According to testimony from police officers on the scene, the suspect, 33-year-old Guatemalan citizen Sebastian Zapeta Khalil, used a shirt to fan the flames, causing her to become fully engulfed.
One of the most just depraved crimes one person could possibly commit against another human being.
Zapeta Khalil appeared in court Tuesday for an arraignment, but did not enter a plea. He will appear again on Friday for a procedural hearing. He's been charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and arson.
If you act in an unusually cruel way, which is depraved, which is tantamount to torture, you get first degree.
Commuters are calling for more resources for mental health services, transit workers, and the homeless to address safety concerns.
Lord, we're asking for help. We're asking for answers.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
New York City's medical examiner's office determined the victim's cause of death to be homicide, saying she died from thermal injuries and smoke inhalation. Investigators are still working to identify her. Right now, she's publicly identified as Jane Doe. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement says the suspect entered the U.S. unlawfully at least 6 years ago, was deported, but then illegally re-entered the country again at an unknown location and date. According to a New York assistant district attorney, the suspect identified himself in images of the attack. He is believed to be living at a men's shelter. As South Korea grapples with the world's lowest birth rates, new data now shows it is, quote, a super-aged society. That's how the United Nations classifies countries with more than 20% of the population ages 65 and older. The Ministry of the Interior and Safety released data showing 1 in 5 South Koreans are 65 or older, which is about 20% of the country's population of 51 million people. South Korean officials have desperately sought to reverse the trend to no avail. In 2022, they admitted to spending more than $200 billion in initiatives aimed at boosting the population over the previous 16 years. South Korea is not the only country facing aging populations. Many European nations do as well, but immigration helps mitigate the impact there. Countries like South Korea, Japan, and China, however, have shied away from mass immigration. Research is in the early stages into a new once-daily pill for weight loss. A study conducted on the new pill was recently presented at the annual European Association for the Study of Diabetes meeting, though it has not yet to be published. ABC's Melissa Adon has more.
A new pill called amycretin targets 2 cell receptors, GLP-1 and amylin. We already know that medicines that increase GLP-1 can help with weight loss. That's how weight loss drugs like semaglutide or Wegovy works. Now researchers are interested in increasing a hormone called amylin to help with weight loss in people who are overweight or have obesity. Amylin can help with feeling full and regulate how your body uses energy. The small study showed an average of 13% reduction in body weight when compared to placebo after taking amycretin for 12 weeks. At least 9 companies are actively researching similar drugs for weight loss, though a pill likely won't be available for a few years. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Well, good evening, everybody. We're beginning to pick up a little fog out there, and it may get rather soupy by morning, so if you drive and consider that. It's 65 degrees. The winds have really settled down, but the humidity way up 90%, but the dew point and the temperature are very close, 1 degree apart, so it's probably going to happen. 82 was our high today before all the rain came through, and then we are supposed to be in the mid-60s as high temperatures, not even close. We'll be talking about all the scary stuff that happened today coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. Well, good evening, everybody. Obviously, we had a pretty busy day. We started off with the fog and low clouds, and we got the rain. The rain was good. As a matter of fact, here's our map the last 24 hours. Here's Victoria, and you can see a quarter, half an inch in most areas of the county and south. But of course, you go up I-59 and it got a little heavier out there where all the big stuff was happening. Now, here's the city, and about 9 o'clock is when it began here in the city. Then it started going up I-59 and then just blew up right as it got to Wharton. Now, it's a combination of things. We had the moisture, we had the lift in the upper atmosphere, and then peak heating in the afternoon. 3, 4 o'clock is the hottest part of the day, and that all added up to all that activity. So we had Of course, 3 funnel sightings in Wharton County. In Harris County, they got 2 tornadoes on the ground, and in Liberty County, they got some too as well. So it all got real heavy as it headed on up I-59. Now, as you can see, this is a video courtesy of Spencer White in and around El Campo. It does look pretty spooky there, you've got to admit, with some of the funnels not touching, but some do touching. And so tomorrow they're going to have to look at the path and the width, now how much damage occurred inside that path to actually determine the strength of it. It's kind of an after the effect. So, you know, sometimes you look at it, it looks really ominous, but it, you know, maybe didn't even touch ground. But that's what we'll find out tomorrow as they go research all the excitement that occurred between El Campo and Wharton. There you see all the stuff now moving into Louisiana. No major problems. Everything moving offshore. We've got a little front here. It's not really moving. So we're on the humid side of everything. A little cooler, a little drier up in central Texas. And their lows tonight will be down to the 40s. We'll barely get to about 60. Across the country, the East Coast is getting a break, much needed. The Midwest also just a few little snow showers or rain showers there. And the West Coast, well, I'll tell you, they're just getting hammered. But for you, look at these temperatures. Tonight, 50 up to 77 tomorrow, then 54, then 76. On Sunday, we'll get up to 76 as well. And we may see an 80 degrees around here before this is all over on Monday. But then, beginning of the year, things start cooling down. So overnight lows, basically mid-50s for us. Notice mid-40s and up lower 40s in central Texas. And tomorrow, yep, it's a little bit on the warm side, getting up to 77. Look at that. Brownsville and Laredo will be at 85 degrees last few days of the year. Future Track, take a look at the big picture. Now, all you got to do is put your eye on where you're going, okay, or where you want to know what's happening. And here we are. You'll notice the clouds pull away. Tomorrow will still be on the overcast side, but you'll be seeing a little bit more sunshine. Very light chance of anything happening. As we get to Sunday and Monday, high pressure comes in and gives us abundant sunshine, and that will also get us into the upper 80s as well. So, yeah, when does the cooler air get around? Well, we're talking about that coming up in the 7-day forecast. For those of you tomorrow in Port Lavaca, we start off overcast and foggy. A little bit of sun in the afternoon, getting up 74. Inland areas getting up to about 74, 75. 7-day forecast, we're warm all the way through Monday. Then Tuesday and on into the first of the year, we get down to the 60s as high temperatures for the day. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. And we'll toss it over to Ray with sports.
Thank you, Mac. Your athlete of the week is the newly crowned state champion. Coming up in sports, we're taking an in-depth look into Bryce Ullman's championship performance. All right, so it's probably rare you'll see a student receive 2 Athlete of the Week recognitions within the same season here at KVU, which means the second time around, something major has to be done. And I think leading your team to a state championship, which is also your school's first ever, is more than worthy. We're taking you back to Jackson County for the 3rd Athlete of the Week from Ganado High School. The reigning Class 2A Division I state champions put on a game for the ages. Senior quarterback Bryce Ullman had a great game in the triple overtime thriller. We saw Ullman lead the game in passing yards with 172, throwing for 2 touchdowns. Ullman also finished second in his team with rushing for 56 yards and a touchdown from rushing as well.
The team who overcame adversity the best was going to win this ball game. So I think it kind of frustrated me a little bit, but I got over it, and we went and dominated.
Ullman's threat to the game isn't only on the offensive end. His defensive ability was on display in the final deciding play of the game.
Him handed off, and I was like kind of stunned for a little bit. I stood there, and then I seen them reversing, and their quarterback was going out, and big old number 28, Vince Salvatore, he just like bulldozed the quarterback, and kind of slowed him down to where I could cover him, and the number 7, he tried to put it over the top, but it wasn't very good, I guess. But, yeah, it was game-winning play. Yes, sir.
Of watching that play, you know. But how about some more holiday sports stories around the area? This time it's in the world of professional wrestling. A local promotion titled Heathens had their toy drive and free show titled Here Comes Santa Claus. I was able to catch up with the owner, the promoter, and even their world champion to check out on this event. Check this out. Heathens Pro Wrestling helps set the holiday mood by doing what they do best, which is performing and entertaining families here in Victoria. The love for the kids is what the owners and promoter of Heathens state is the purpose of a show like this.
You bring in toys, bring in an action figure, you bring in a Barbie doll, whatever you want, because at the end of the day, it's going to go to a child in need that, you know, doesn't get the opportunity to get a toy this for Christmas. We want to try to branch out and get as many toys as we can.
Mine was just being able to see the interactions of the kids. We actually had a show here that had a group of kids, never seen a wrestling event, and the first time they came out, the look in their eyes, the excitement they had, that's what I wanted to feel. That's what I wanted to see, and that's, you know, bringing the family together again is always the best thing.
Oh, every Heathens event, that's just something to always bring a family oriented. All the wrestlers, they interact with all the crowds and the kids. Oh, the kids love it. No guarantees that your kids ain't gonna learn how to do a smackdown or, you know, toss someone when they get home.
And of course, it's only fair we hear from world champion Red Davis on why events like this are important to him.
This show means a lot to me, especially coming from not like a very wealthy family, so I feel for the kids that don't have a lot to get on Christmas Day. For me, it's never about receiving, it's always about the giving. All right, thank you guys down at Heathens. But the Rockets had better luck on the game than the Houston Texans. The New Orleans Pelicans, they took on them on the road tonight. Jalen Green led the team in scoring with 30 points, and just below him was Cam Whitmore, who finished with 27 points. The Rockets will be back at home tomorrow to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. But that does it for your sports. Shawna?
All right, well, still to come tonight, a Virginia zoo is marking the holidays with an extra special arrival this season. Don't go away. One IHOP server in Iowa received the tip of a lifetime on Christmas Eve. Cell phone video captured the moment Kaylee was handed an envelope containing $1,700 in cash. The giving customer says it's become a family tradition to leave a server a generous tip on Christmas Eve. This is the 5th year they've done this, and more than 50 people contributed to the tip. Kaylee, who is raising 2 young children, says she's going to use the money to help pay her tuition for nursing school. What a great gift. Well, a Virginia zoo is celebrating the holiday arrival of a baby hippopotamus. The baby pygmy hippo, a girl, was born on December 9th at the Metro Richmond Zoo and made her debut on Christmas Eve. So far, she does not have a name. This is the 3rd calf in less than 5 years for her parents Iris and Corwin, and their 2nd calf to arrive just before the holidays. The zoo says since the birth, Iris and the baby have been bonding in an enclosure off exhibit. And when the time is right, they will move back to the zoo's indoor pool area so that visitors will be able to get a look at the baby. The zoo says the calf is nursing and growing quickly. The pygmy hippo is an endangered species with fewer than 2,500 mature individuals still in the wild. It's native to the swamps and rivers of West Africa. And that reminds me of one of my favorite Christmas songs, I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas.
And when she gets back to the pool, no doubt they'll put a pink ribbon on her hair.
Exactly. I'm sure they'll have some kind of contest to name her and all of that. So.
Well, she was born on Christmas Eve. There's some ideas.
Maybe.
Well, folks, tomorrow morning you're probably going to get up to a lot of soupy weather and more fog is expected. And it'll stay on the overcast side. We don't have any dry air just yet, but don't expect any rain tomorrow other than maybe a little mist in the morning hours. By the time we get to Saturday, Sunday, we start seeing more and more sun, and you'll get warmer and warmer temperatures all the way to Monday when we're almost 80 degrees. But the beginning of the year does bring us some cooler weather back down into the 60s.
All right. Well, Friday is a day to celebrate another food staple of the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
National Fruitcake Day. Now, this day might not be for everyone, given the fruitcake has its detractors, but for those who love it, you can enjoy. The classic fruitcake contains chopped candies or dried fruit, nuts, and spices. An extra spin on the fruitcake is to soak it in liqueur or brandy.
Yeah.
Many people like to bake their own or buy or order them and then give them as gifts during the holidays. So my question for each of you, are you a fruitcake fan or...
I haven't tried one, so I can't really give you a fair answer.
Dude, we're going to take care of you this Christmas. Don't worry.
All right,
we're going to take care of you. I personally love them.
It sounded like you liked them from
Well, you know, with a little Christmas spirit. You know? A little Christmas spirit in there.
Some eggnog.
It comes with candy. I didn't know that because I always thought it was all dried up fruit, but it has the option of having candy.
And nuts. Good stuff.
Well, thanks for joining us. Be sure to join Carolina and Parker for Sunrise at 5 a.m.